All right, here is question 4 of our SSI adding and subtracting fractions mini assessment. Mr. Lopez purchased 1 gallon of fruit punch for his parent meeting. He poured 1/2 of a gallon of punch into cups for the guests. Mr. Lopez drank 1/8 of the punch after all the guests had left. What fraction of the gallon of punch was left? So if I'm looking at this and thinking about what is the question asking, I want to know a fraction of the punch that was left. Now already I know that when it's asking me how much is left, that definitely is asking me for a part. So that must mean I'm given the total, or I'm given other I'm given the total, and then I might be given other parts depending on how many parts there are in my total. So then I'm going back and I'm thinking about Mr. Lopez purchased 1 gallon of fruit punch for his meeting. 1 gallon of fruit punch. And let me think. I gotta think about if I'm getting any more punch or if this is all the punch that I start with. Well, the next sentence tells me that he poured 1/2 a gallon of punch into cups. Well, that definitely isn't more. He's not getting more, so that right there is a part. And he drank 1/8 of the punch. Again, that's not my total. That is another part of the punch. And then since that's the last thing, I know that this purchased 1 gallon of the fruit punch. That is my total amount of fruit punch. I'm not getting any more fruit punch. This is all the fruit punch he starts with, and then these other parts are taken out. So when I draw my strip diagram, my total amount is here, and it's just one whole. And then I've got 1, 2, 3 parts. The part that he poured, the part that he drank, and the part that was left. So I'm going to cut this into 3 parts. And I'm going to put those little keys to myself too. The part that he poured, the part that he drank, and the part that was left. So then I can start filling in my fractions. The part that he poured was 1/2. The part that he drank was 1/8. And then I'm looking for the actual part that is left. So then if I'm writing this as an equation or thinking about what to do with this, I definitely know I'm looking for a small piece. And it has to be less than 1 whole. So already I know B is way too big. And if you picked this answer choice, it's probably because you did not draw a strip diagram. So shame, shame, I know your name. Draw that strip diagram. That's where you went wrong. You probably just went ahead and added all 3 amounts. But if I'm looking for how much is left, it doesn't make sense for me to get a bigger amount than I started with. So definitely that was the craziest, worst answer choice that you could have picked. So then I'm looking at what I'm going to do. Since 1 whole is my total amount and these are parts, I could do one of 2 things. I could actually put those 2 parts together. I could add them, and then I could take them away in one go. Or I could take my 1 whole, I could take away 1/2 and take away 1/2, and then I'm left with whatever is left. Now, I personally, normally I would tell you, ooh, it's better to put those 2 together, guys, and then add, and then take away. But honestly, I can do 1 whole, take away 1/2 pretty easily. I don't even need to make any equivalent fractions. I know if I've got a whole thing and I cut them into 2 parts and I take away that 1 part, I've got, oh, look at that, 1 out of 2 parts left. So then I've got 1/2 left, and now I have to take away this 1/8, the part that he drank. Now I need to go ahead and say, oh, I don't have the common denominator, so I'm going to list my multiples of 2 and 8. And I'm going to say 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, look at that. 8 is my common denominator. So 1/2 times, let's see, it took me 1, 2, 3, 4 multiples to get to 8. So 1 times 4 is 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. So 4/8. I don't need to turn 1/8 into an equivalent fraction. It already is 8. So I can just say 4/8 minus 1/8. 4 parts, take away 1 part is 3 parts out of 8. I don't do anything to my denominators. 8 parts, take away 8 parts, I'm still having 8 parts in my total. So then I look and I see that 3 out of 8 is my correct answer. Now, if you picked C, you probably stopped right here. You stopped, you just took away his half that he poured and forgot to take away the 1 out of 8 parts that he drank. So you stopped too early. You stopped at step 1. So be careful on that. Solution, making sure that you draw that strip diagram so you represent the entire problem. If you chose D, 1 out of 6, you may have flipped your fractions. You may have done 1, take away 1/2, and you figured that was a half, and then maybe you got confused and you flipped your fractions, and I don't know, went ahead and decided that 8 take away 2 parts was 6 parts. Or you guessed because the answer you were looking for wasn't there. You may have guessed or done some miscalculation on that. Okay? But key is drawing that strip diagram so that you can see exactly what you're doing with all of these fractions. So, since you missed this problem, if you don't have a strip diagram, or if you don't have a strip diagram that is accurate, you need to draw this. I need to see whatever you did first. If you chose to go ahead and add 1/2 and 1/8 and then take them away, do that. Or if you did it like me and you knew 1 take away 1/2 is 1/2, that's simple. I can do that in my head. Then take away. So we took away that one, and then we take away that one here, take away 1/8 to see what is left, which was 3/8. I need to see all of that work on your paper.